Welcome. Yes. Welcome to week 4 of our new consultant training. This week is all about working full circle. So if you have your workbook, be sure to have it. There's actually no fill in the blanks this week. So this is probably the most information intense week, though, to be completely honest. This is like 12 trainings in one because the full circle is 12. There's 12 circles on our circle. So we're going to dive right in so that we can get through all 12 of them because in the past, I haven't made it through all 12 in the amount of time that I want to. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So number 1, the first part of working full circle. It starts with lead generation. And if you don't have leads, you have nobody to book. So it really does start with lead generation. And as a new consultant, because this is new consultant training, so we're going to talk about as a new consultant, the first place that you're going to get leads is your contact list. And this is not just the people that you talk to super regularly. I know when we think about as a new consultant, like who do I want to ask to host a party? We think about people that we talk to the most often, but I want you to think about the acronym FRANKS. So it's FRANKS. And I'm going to tell you what each of them means. So this is going to help you come up with your contact list as a new consultant and make sure that you have asked all of these people. So F stands for friends. So of course, friends are usually the first people to make it on your contact list anyway. And when you're thinking of friends, Olivia, babe, that's loud. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, never mind. All right. She's over there crunching on pork skins.
Oh, that sounds good.
So, so when you think of friends, think about not even just the ones you talk to every day or, every week. Think of friends that you maybe have lost touch with that you could reconnect with, and this could be a great way to reconnect. And then R stands for relatives. So as if you were getting married. Let's say you were getting married and you had an unlimited budget. Okay, you could invite literally as many people as you want. That is your relative list. So I know you're like, well, I talk to my sister every day, but I hardly ever talk to my cousins. Okay, well, again, it's a great way to reconnect with people. If you're not talking to them that much anyway, why not attempt to reconnect with them? So relatives, and this is not just the closest relatives, it's all the relatives. This is your family reunion, all right? This is the list we're making. And then A stands for acquaintances. So these are people that maybe you see in passing. They could be coworkers that maybe haven't become friends yet. They could be, let's say you are picking up and dropping off kids at school. They might be people that you just see at ball games, or that let's say you're on a first name basis with the person at your bank. I mean, these are people that you know their name, they know your name, but you don't consider them friends yet. So acquaintances. N stands for neighbors. So if you know anybody that lives close to you, also the people you go to church with, those are your neighbors. And so these are people around you, like nearby. And it doesn't matter where you live. Everybody has neighbors, people you see in the grocery store. Maybe it is literally your neighbor, but you don't have to only take it literally. And then K stands for kids. So these are people that you know because of kids or from when you were a kid or both. So think back again, people that you've lost touch with. When I was a brand new consultant, my director said, go through your phone and then go through your Facebook friend list. And I was reaching out to people that I hadn't spoken to in 8 years. But you know what? I was able to reconnect with some of them and do practice parties. And I would have never reconnected with them otherwise because it's weird to just be like, hey, you want to go have coffee after 8 years? But to say, hey, I know this is random, but can I borrow your face? That's a little bit easier, to be honest. It gives you a reason to reconnect with people. So K is kids or people you know, or it's people you know because of kids or from when you were a kid. Hold on one second. Do you think you're able to flip them each over with the tongs? So, all right, hey, just grab them very carefully so the breading doesn't come off. Okay. Thanks. Hey, Brooklyn. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna revisit that in 10 minutes. They'll be fine for now. It's just chicken tenders that
Um,
are breaded in pork rinds. They're so yummy.
that
Oh
sounds
yeah.
good.
They're actually very good and they're
Mm,
completely carb free, gluten free, all the things.
mm,
They're yummy.
mhm.
Okay. So, next is S. S stands for service. So these are people that provide a service to you. So let's say you're paying someone to do your nails, or you pay someone to do your hair, or you're paying someone for insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance. Or this is people that you do business with, basically. So if you do business with them, it's not insane for you to ask them to be a practice face. You're not even asking them to buy from you. You're asking them to be a practice face. So I want you to start with the Franks list, and you don't really lead generate until you have actually exhausted that list. Like literally, you have asked them all and followed up with them all. Because until then, you don't need to lead generate. And for some people, this list is 100 long. For some people, it's 10. But even those 10, I had a very short list, but I still held practice parties with several people. I got tons of customers, referrals, and team members through those practice parties as a brand new consultant, asking people that I hadn't spoken to in a really long time to help me. And they were willing and they were excited to gather people together to help me with my training. So, that is lead generation in the beginning. Now, once you have honestly, truly exhausted that list, at that point, you should have some referrals because we're getting referrals from the party, and we'll talk about that later. But referrals, if you truly, truly, really honestly run out of leads, that's when you go to our Facebook group or I might even have a video on YouTube about how to generate leads, how to meet new people. I have tons of training on lead generating because I've done a lot of it in my 13 years. So, but we're going to start with the Franks list.
Okay.
And then, so that's number one. Number two, so that we can get through this, we're going to do it. I'm excited. I believe in us. All
Yes.
right. So, number two, strong booking skills and habits. Strong booking skills and habits. Now, one thing I did not have when I created this new consultant workbook that I do have now is the booking and coaching playbook. With the booking and coaching playbook, you actually have literally everything that you need. And I'll go ahead and drop this playbook in the comments for the YouTube video, but you have everything that you need to be able to master the strong booking skills and habits. The only thing that's missing is doing it. So doing it is, here, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now, booking and coaching playbook. So doing it is how you're going to, um, hmm,
It's helped me a lot. It really has.
am I not able to put a link in the chat?
You should be able to.
I thought so too. Maybe I pressed the wrong button. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I did press the wrong button. Okay, booking and coaching playbook is in the YouTube comments. So the booking and coaching playbook has scripts for every situation, starting with your Franks list. It has scripts for booking your Power Start, where you're asking people you know to help you practice. It has scripts for booking referrals. It has scripts for booking from promotions or vendor events or facial boxes. So every situation is covered. It has how many times to call them, how to follow up, what to say when you follow up, what to text if they don't answer when you call. It has how to track it. It has a QR code for the video that I did a long time ago, like 8 years ago, on how to set up your notebook so that you can track your bookings. So I'm not going to teach you how to book today because that's already available. What I'm telling you is part of working truly full circle is mastering it. And the only way to master it is really to do it. Now, if you're doing it by winging it, you will never master it. I will tell you, when I started my business, I hated scripts. I was like, I don't want to use these. These don't sound like me. This is weird. This is awkward. They're going to know I'm reading something. Like I had all these reasons in my head that I didn't want to use scripts. So I tried it without scripts. And guess how that worked? Not so great. And I've done this a lot in my business. I've tried like ignoring what my director said, and then I do my own thing, and then I'm like, this isn't working. And then I'm like, well, I guess I can try that thing she told me. And then guess what? It totally works. And it still works 13 years later. It still works. The scripts work. If you want results, use the scripts. Okay. And the strong booking skills and habits also says always maintaining P3 or higher monthly. P3, it comes from our party to rise tracking. So the party to rise tracking is our monthly tracking sheet that you are tracking your faces, you're tracking your share calls, and you're tracking your sales. So P3 is just 3 parties, which it's what you're tracking is 15 faces. So P3 is 3 parties, which should bring you 6 share calls, which should bring you $800 in sales. And these are low averages. And so that's about 400 wholesale. So maintaining P3 or higher for everyone, that's part-time. That is not full-time. So here's the party to rise tracking in the um, YouTube. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if this YouTube live chat turns into comments on the video when the video's done, but we will find out. We're learning things together because I just started using YouTube instead of Facebook. So I like it more actually. So strong booking skills and habits, maintaining P3 or higher is part-time consultant. So if you've come into this business and you want to learn anything, you got to at least maintain this bare minimum. This is bare minimum. Like this is you're going to be losing money if you don't do this. And that's possible. It's possible to lose money because you join for the discount. Well, if you join for the discount and you sell nothing, you're spending money. It's a hobby instead of a business. So you just have to decide, do you want this to be a hobby or do you want it to be a business? So that is going to go back to maintaining P3 or higher because that's the activity that we do that makes us money in this business. Surprise! We do parties. That's how we make money. So, so now, okay. Next, we have confident coaching and pre-profiling. Guess what? That
What?
is right along it's actually in this same exact document as the booking and coaching playbook. Surprise! That's why it's called the booking and coaching playbook. I'm so excited about it because it also takes you through what to do after you get the booking. Exactly what to say, exactly what email to send, exactly what to text them in the days leading up to the session. It will tell you exactly what to do. Coaching is just communicating with the booking, whether it's a hostess or just a facial, doesn't matter. We're communicating with them all the way up until the day of, even if they don't respond. So even if they don't respond, I act as if they did respond because a lot of times people will confirm the day before, to be completely honest. They'll like completely ignore you. That happened to me today. I have a booking for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And I have been texting her, and she was responding a while ago, but then this week she hasn't responded. And then today she was like, I'm so sorry. I meant to get back to you, but here's my 2 guests that are coming. And she gave me their names and numbers. So I coach as if they've been responding. I don't ever go back and say, did you get my text yesterday? Because the one thing that I know is if somebody ever feels embarrassed, they will stop responding to you and you'll never hear from them ever again. So if you texted them yesterday and then today you're like, did you get my text yesterday? And they're like, oh my gosh, I thought I responded. Sometimes they just disappear. So I just ignore the fact that I asked them for their skin type yesterday, and today I still ask them for their favorite color or whatever. I still just move on. And usually when they do get back to me, they're like, oh, my favorite color is pink and my skin is normal and I have wrinkles. And so they actually tell me everything that I asked up until this point. And if they don't, I just ask it again. I don't mention that I asked it before. I just ask it again. I'll be like, great, what's your favorite color? And just keep moving along. Don't ever try to call someone out. Don't ever try to embarrass someone. It will always backfire on you. So booking and coaching is all covered in that playbook. Okay, so number 4, flip chart mastery. Guess what? You know how to do this? All you do is just use the flip chart at the
Mhm.
parties. I use the flip chart. Y'all, I know exactly what to say. I know what to say. I could say it with my eyes closed at this point, but I still use the flip chart at every single session, whether it's one people, one person, two people, or 10 people. Doesn't matter. I always use the flip chart. So from start to finish, no stone unturned. You will leave no stone unturned if you really do use it from start to finish, as in you have to use the very last page. The very last page tells you what to do at your individual close. So if you skip the last page, you've just shown up and given them live entertainment. And you know what? You ain't gonna make no money. So start to finish all the way, we're using the flip chart. And you don't have to read it word for word. You will learn it as you use it, but use it. And if you get lost, just get back to it. Don't be like, oh, this isn't working. No, get back to it. Find the page. Sometimes I go pages in advance and then I'm like, oh, we already did that. We already did that. It's fine, but use the flip chart. It makes it where you work it full circle. Also, it makes you look easy to duplicate. Okay, so next is, hey, Olivia, hold on one second. All right, I smell the chicken, so I think it needs to be
Oh.
flipped over. Okay, so number 5 is individual consultation mastery. This goes back to the flip chart. If you're really using the flip chart, honestly, as in from page 1 all the way through, because page 1 also tells you set up your individual close station. So it tells you what to do when you walk in the hostess's door. It tells you what to set out, it tells you what to put in the trays, and it tells you to have a separate place for your individual clothes. So again, if you use the flip chart, you've already got a station set up for your individual clothes. It's usually on the couch for me. That's where I typically do individual clothes is on the couch. But I've done all kinds of different things, honestly. So you already have a station, and then you take your flip chart to the individual clothes at the very end, and you just use it, and you just say what's on it. It's all the work's done for you as far as like you've already had them fill out the survey. That means they've written down what they want, when they want to do their second session, when they want to do their share call. So that's already done. All you're doing is just, how did you enjoy yourself? How does your skin feel? Okay, so I see you want to take home the Cadillac collection today. Great. Is there anything else you want to add to that? You do get 3 things half off. No? Okay, great. Here's your total. How do you want to pay? You take their money. You book their second session. You book their share call. Done. Next. It's so simple. But if you don't do it, again, you are live entertainment for every guest at that party. And that's not what we're trying to do, right? We're not trying to just be live entertainment. We're trying
Right.
to make some money and make connections and meet new people and find new team members.
Right.
Number 6, Party to Rise program weekly focus. So I already shared the Party to Rise program link in the YouTube chat that hopefully turns into the YouTube comments. But basically, that is just telling you what to focus on weekly. So when you look at the Party to Rise tracking, so the Party to Rise tracking, it does tell you what monthly, so P3, for example, what we talked about earlier, that is monthly. So P3 is a monthly goal, okay? But when you look at the Party to Rise tracking breakdown, I'll screen share it for just a second. So when you look at the activity column, so P3, for example, it stands for 3 parties, but then it's 15 faces, 6 share calls, 400 wholesale. This is your weekly focus. Your weekly focus is 1 party where you have 2 share calls and you sell $200. And $200 is a very low party, by the way. The average that we're finding right now, the average party is about $400. That means if you hold 4 individual facials, you can add them up and it'll be about $400. Now, what's faster, a party with 4 people or 4 individual faces?
Party with 4 people.
Definitely, because they both
Mhm.
take about 2 hours. So,
Yep.
I mean, you're going to be spending the same amount of time either way. So you might as well be in front of groups. So you might as well do everything in your arsenal, like everything you can in your power to turn all of your bookings into parties. Will they all be parties? No. You will still have one-on-ones, but I do everything I can to at least have two people there. Because I'd rather, again, have three groups of 10 than, I mean, 10 groups of three, then 30 individual facials. It's still so much faster.
Right.
So my two parties, I have three sessions tomorrow. One is an individual facial, but two are parties of three. So it's the hostess plus two guests. And my hostess program is when you have three people there, you get everything half off. So they're not even taking advantage of that, but I'll still do 10%. Like if their guests buy anything, I'll still give them 10% of the party sales and free
Okay.
products,
All
like
right.
as backup. You can decide what you do, but turn your facials into parties. So for each level, it tells you what to focus on weekly. And over here, it tells you about what to expect. So P3, at this level, you can build loyal customers and make a little side cash. You're not building a big business doing three parties a month. You're just not. So we just have to be really honest with ourselves and match our activity to our goals. And if we're not willing to do the work that our goals take, then we either have to increase our activity, but if we're not willing, then we have to lower our goals, which is never what we want to do in Mary Kay, but you just have to be honest with yourself. So at the P6 level, six parties in a month, which is 30 faces. So this isn't six bookings in a month. The minimum is still the faces. So six P6, you have to see at least six face or 30 faces. So at that level, you can expect to build a strong customer base and move up the career path over time. If 30 is your minimum, you will build a strong business. If every month you do at least P6 or higher, you will build a strong business. And then 9 is 45 faces. At this level, you can expect to build a strong customer base and move into red. And then 12 parties, 60 faces. At this level, you can expect to build a strong customer base, move into directorship, and earn a car. Why would we not want a free car? Y'all, with
All right.
this, you can totally replace your income with this level. And it might take being creative. It might take getting a little, it's going to take being creative, honestly, because 12 parties in a month doesn't just happen by chance. You know, we do have parties by chance as a consultant. There will be people that are like, oh, I'll do a party for you. And maybe we'll make our booking calls a few times a month. So we'll end up having some parties, but 12 parties does not just happen by chance. It takes being intentional. That means, when you're exhausted on the weekend and you don't feel like doing anything, you're still holding three parties because it's three parties a week. Three parties a week is full time in Mary Kay. It will replace actually any level income. It will pay you six figures. It will pay you a lot. You just have to do it consistently. Okay, so that's the weekly focus. Number 7 is career survey mastery. That is share calls. Share calls. Guess what? There's a share call playbook too. Woohoo! All right, so ideally, you want to do share calls with your director. So if you book share calls, book them. I encourage you to just book them. Don't even check with me if I'm your director. If someone else is your director, talk to your director because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But if it's me, I want you to book share calls whether you know if I'm available or not. I don't care if I'm available or not because you can take this share call playbook and you can literally do exactly what I do. And I can follow up if needed. So you just want to take notes every time you do a share call. You want to make sure that you take really good notes and work it exactly how the sheet says, and then you've done a share call. Now, if you book a share call, let's say you do a party and you're like, you always book share calls within 2 days, by the way. My only exception to this is if I do a party on Saturday. Well, I don't do share calls on Sundays. I don't do anything on Sundays. So I will give them the choice between Monday and Tuesday instead of just Monday. But other than that, 2 days. I do not go do a party on Monday and book a share call for Friday. It's not even an option. It's a call. It's a quick call. They watch the video on their own time and then it's a quick call. It doesn't take long. It's not a whole appointment. They don't have to show up at Starbucks. It's super simple. So if they're if they're filling out the survey, it says when in the next 2 days. And I don't just say fill out the survey. I walk them through every question of that survey. So at the bottom, I'm like, this is a drawing I do once a month. I do a Kate Spade or gift card drawing. All you do is watch a quick video, and then I do a quick call to get your honest feedback. So just write Monday or Tuesday there. Like whatever day it is, I tell them exactly, write later today or Monday. Or if it's a Monday, I'll say write Tuesday or Wednesday. So they're not going to write Friday because I've told them write Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, some people write NA. Some people are just like, I'm not going to do it, but it's very, very rare. Very rare. So you book a share call within 2 days, and then you just send them the link to the video, and you have them watch the video, and then you do the share call, and you take really good notes. And the way to master this is honestly to do as many as possible with your director. That's how you master it, because you can do them all day long. Booking is different, right? Booking is like you can follow the scripts and be good. Share calls are different because you're asking them so many questions that you don't know where that call is going to go, to be completely honest. They're
Right.
all different. No two share calls are the same. And the questions they ask me, I still get questions to this day that I've never heard. I'm like, wow, yeah, I've never gotten that question before. So, the best way to do it is to just just do them, but also make sure you do a bunch of them with your director. The reason I sound like I know what I'm talking about 90% of the time is because I did about 1 million calls with my director. As in, she was talking, I was listening. Hold on 1 second again. Okay. So number 8, product knowledge and personal use. You should be your very, very best customer. You should also be using or moving towards using only Mary Kay. So if somebody walks by you and you smell good and they're like, "Oh, what is that perfume?" and it is not Mary Kay, that's a problem.
Mhm.
Or if they're like, "Oh, your lipstick's so cute."
Mommy, can I stay
Mhm.
with you tomorrow?
I don't know, baby. Hold on a second. We can't talk right now. Hold on. So, all right. So, um, product knowledge, the best way to learn the products is to use them. Also, I used to read the lookbook like a magazine. I would just sit there and just look at it, like while I was sitting on the couch, I was sitting in the bed. I just looked at it. I just flipped through it like a magazine. It's just what I did. And that was a great way to learn the products too, to learn the prices. Now we do have on InTouch the modules. You can do MK Confident, and there's tons of different product modules on there.
Mhm.
But it does not replace actually using the products yourself. And I always, my favorite example is if you go to a restaurant and you sit down and the waitress is like, "What would you like?" And you're undecided and you're like, "Well, what's your favorite?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't eat here."
Mm,
And you're like, "Oh, that's kind of scary." So if
right,
you're representing Mary Kay, but you're not willing to use Mary Kay, there's a problem.
right.
And everybody can use something. So I have a director friend who is allergic to our miracle set. She literally cannot use the Time Wise miracle set. But you know what? She only uses Mary Kay. And she's always on the Queen's Court of Sales. She earns a diamond ring every single year for her sales. So she's not fake. She uses Mary Kay. She just can't use our miracle set. And that's okay.
Mm,
She uses, I don't know what she uses. She probably uses the Mary Kay skincare, but I'm not 100% certain on that. So don't quote me.
mhm,
Um, so
mm,
use the products. Number 9, systems for follow-up and customer service. So that's actually my next playbook. I don't have it yet. I'm going to put a star on this right now. So I'm just going to give you some very quick things that I do. I actually did a training on this recently, so I went more in depth, but some quick things. Birthday, acknowledge their birthday. And if you don't know how to track it, InTouch. Enter your profile cards into InTouch. Um, put reminders in there. Set up reminders, because then you can look at your action items every day. And my customers, you can look at your reminders and it'll tell you who to follow up with based on when they ordered and what you have the reminders set up for. It will also have their birthday reminders right there. So if you check that every morning or even every Monday and just jot it down on a calendar, or put it in your digital calendar, put reminders in your phone, then you'll be good for that week. And then another thing I do, I have a VIP group on Facebook where I share things.
Yeah.
And I also do beauty bucks. So that is where I track all year every $10 that they earn or that they buy from me, they earn $1 for free to spend in December. So if they spend $500 with me throughout the year, they get $50 in December to spend on whatever they want. And this has been, I just started this last year. It was amazing. I have seen a huge increase in sales. And so the beginning of every month, there's a text that's like, hey, you have 2 beauty bucks, or you have 10 beauty bucks, or you have whatever their beauty bucks are. It doesn't matter how much they are. And it doesn't matter if it's changed. It's an excuse to follow up with each customer every single month. And
You
then if
said
it's
it's
a
a
new,
dollar for what now?
it's $1 for every $10 they spend throughout the year. So Monday, January through November, they're earning it. December, they spend it. And if they don't spend it, January 1st, they're gone.
Okay.
So number 10, events and meeting attendance. Show up to everything. Those who show up, go up. It's not just a catchy phrase.
Mhm.
It really isn't. So it's very, very, very true. So it's like if you worked for a big company, let's say you're a bank teller, and there's this training, and you have to have it in order to be promoted to whatever's after a bank teller. Let's just say assistant manager.
Mhm.
But you don't do that training. Guess what? You're not getting the job. You're not getting the position. You cannot expect to move up in your Mary Kay business if you don't show up.
Yeah.
I have seen way too many people that are like, I want to be a red jacket. And they think that they'll start showing up after they're successful. That is so backwards. You have to show up to everything. The next event is seminar. We are all going to seminar. We show up to the weekly Zooms. We show up to all the things. So decisions are made by those who show up. Influence is had by those who show up. So if there's things that I am like, oh, let's discuss this. Well, I'm only discussing it with those who show up.
Right.
And the same with my leader, like Ruth, we talk about things. She has director Zooms where she literally makes decisions on the Zoom for different things that we're doing at seminar or leadership or whatever's next, fall advance. And the ones who didn't show up to those, they didn't have an input, but they knew about it. They just didn't show up. So those who show up go up. Number 11 is effective goal setting and execution. We accidentally talked about that. Um, Out of turn, we talked about SMART goals. So SMART stands for specific, and then M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for timely or time bound. It means it has a deadline on it. So S, specific. So instead of saying, I want to see more faces, say, I'm going to see 30 faces this month. Or I need more bookings, say, I will get 1 booking per day. So you have to be specific. And then M stands for measurable. You got to be able to measure it. Again, you can't measure more, but you can measure 30. How are you going to track it is really what that comes down to, that you are tracking it, not just that you can, but that you are. A stands for attainable. So that means you have to know the rules for whatever it is that you want. And if it's possible, it's attainable. It doesn't matter how impossible it seems. It is totally possible when you work like it depends on you, but pray like it depends on God. It's not that it's reasonable. It's not that it's realistic. It's just that it's attainable. So, and then R stands for relevant. Is this goal something that's getting you closer to where you personally want to be in your life? That's relevant. And then T stands for time bound. It means it has a deadline, and you're not allowed to change that deadline until it passes. And really, you fight like you are fighting for breath underwater until that deadline passes. That means if you had a goal for the end of May and you are nowhere near that goal, it's time to start fighting for it. It's not time to say, oh, I'll just do it July 1st. Like, it's fine. It's fine. No, 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 no. If you've ever watched sports, you do not give up at the end. You don't. Everything can change at the end, and there are lots of games that do. Somebody lets their guard down, and then guess what? there's a comeback and it's huge. And we can do that too. And then number 12 is consistent communication with your director. So part of the mental bath every day, if you don't know what that is, it is also in the tracking folder of our Google Drive. But the mental bath, B stands for a booking a day. A stands for your affirmation out loud 3 times a day. T stands for training, any training. This can be this. This can be a devotional, anything that grows you. It can be reading a book on millionaire mindset. It could be anything, but it's something to grow you. H stands for hotline, so you're listening to the $1,000,000 message every day, and then there's an ED at the end. We don't just bath, we bathed. So E stands for eat right and exercise. That can look like literally anything. Like just make better choices. Be conscious of what you're doing and intentional. And then D stands for director. Checking in with your director every day. And this is voice. This can be Voxer or it can be a phone call. It is not a text. It is not a Voxer text. It is not an email. It is not a messenger. Unless it's a voice. I mean, we can voice messenger, but it is a voice check-in. It is a, hey, this is what I'm doing today in the morning. Oh, by the way, if I'm your director, I know I'm your director, Melissa. I'm just talking to everybody too. If I'm your director, you can reach out to me 24/7 because guess what? My phone is always on mute. I don't care. It could be 3 a.m. If you're like, but I get up too early, it doesn't matter. Vox me at 3 a.m. I will hear it when I get up. I promise. And then I'll know, like, oh, Melissa's doing this today. And then I know what's going on and how to cheer you on and how to encourage you. And then plus we can address things. If I'm like, well, you've said for 5 days in a row that you had parties each night. How's that been going? You're like, I sold nothing. I'm like, what's going on? So it helps us like figure out things that might be missing or, addressing issues, evaluating. So check in with your director daily with your voice. Your voice has a lot of power, has a lot more power than your thumbs. So guess what? We made it.
Woohoo!
So do you have any questions? Since you showed up today, do you have any questions about any of this? I know it's a lot. This is a lot of information, but it's when you master all of this, you will have a very successful business.
I'm pretty much doing it all. It's just
That deserves a
like when I do have parties, I sell. I mean, I do good at them. It's just, I'm getting them is the thing with my schedule and other people's schedule.
it's that consistent booking.
Right,
And it's also having them in your schedule before you book them. You have to have them in
right.
your schedule. So right now I mean, we still have lots of time in May,
Mm-hmm.
but very soon your June should be booked out. You know when you work, you
Right,
know when the family reunion is, you know when the birthday parties are, you know when date night is, and if not, figure it out, put it on the calendar. So I know a lot of people like they try to ask me to do things last minute, and I'll be
mm-hmm.
like, no, I can't.
Yeah,
I already work that day. And if you
right,
say like, oh, I'm gonna be doing Mary Kay that day, that's a little different. No, I work that day.
right,
And treat it like your job. So if you're scheduled to have a party on Wednesday night and you don't have a party because you don't have anybody booked, then you make booking calls. And if you don't have anybody to book, then you go get leads. That's how it works. So you schedule yourself to work, and
right,
then either you do the work that you scheduled yourself for, or you do the work that's going to lead to that. Like it's
right.
the gap why you don't have that. And usually it's just, well, I was going to do a party Wednesday night, but nobody booked. Okay, make booking calls. Honestly, go through your contact list.
Okay. All right. All right.
So schedule it out in advance and then stick to it as if a boss gave you a schedule.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna do this.
I'm
I'm
excited. I believe you. I know. I'm excited.
ah,
Yay. And I can't wait to see your goals form.
ah,
So fill that out. There's no right or wrong. I mean, it's not a contest. Don't worry.
right.
But I'm gonna go check on my chicken if you don't have any other
Okay.
questions because
Um,
I'm smelling it and I'm a little concerned.
right. I understand.
So
I don't
I'm gonna
have
go
any more
check on it.
questions. You did great.